Greene. Welcome to Carter G. Woodson's Oral History Project 2016. The Oral History Project has to do with Paul Laurence Dunbar High School. What we try to do here at Carter G. Woodson is make a local connection to larger events, in particular the segregation and integration of public high schools. We welcome Mr. Greene today on April the 3rd, other alumni on April the 4th, as our scholars have basically put together questions regarding segregation, Paul Laurence Dunbar High School. We do this to capture the history of Dunbar for our scholars to understand the legacy and to help in some way preserve the legacy and the history of a great era in history here in Lexington, Kentucky. We'll get started now with introductions of our scholars. We'll introduce our scholars now.
Hello, I'm Scholar Anthony Wright.
Hi, I'm Scholar Doreen Harden.
I'm Scholar Bodie.
I'm Scholar Scott.
I'm Scholar Israel.
I'm Scholar Naira Boyd.
I'm Scholar Drew. Scholar Sanders.
Richard Greene. Anything you want to know?
Give us some background.
Well, I've been teaching school since 1968. I coached football for a while. Didn't like that because there are too many people trying to tell you what to do, especially parents, about who should play and who should not play. And I don't think they should have been at my practice. I was a principal, assistant principal at Lexington Junior, Lexington Traditional. I worked at Bryan Station. It was a junior high then, Nassau Middle School. I worked at Bryan Station High School. I worked at Leestown. I worked at Tate Street. Worked at the University of Kentucky. Worked at Kentucky State. And they're all math programs. And math is one of the things that we need to get a hold of them real quickly, because we're not doing it. I'm a graduate of Dunbar High School, Paul Laurence Dunbar High School at 545 North Upper Street. And the colors were green and white, and the nickname was Bearcats.
Mr. Greene, were there any racial issues in the community, and how did you deal with them?
Give me a little more, what do you?
Like, when you were at school and things, and around that area, were there any, racial issues? Any problems with segregation?
Let's do it this way. In Lexington, use New Circle Road as a boundary. All students, all African American students inside New Circle Road went to Dunbar city school system. All African Americans outside New Circle Road, Uptontown, Jimtown, Warrentown, Maddoxtown, went to Douglas High School. That's was located on Price's Road, right up the street from Douglas Park. We weren't allowed at that particular time to go to Henry Clay, Bryan Station, or Lafayette. Tate Street was not a part of my high school. Tate Street came in after I graduated. So the biggest racial differences is that the athletic teams were never allowed to play for the state championship until 1959. And then the basketball team played for the state championship. And football, we never had enough opponents in this district to play because the schools didn't play us. Henry Clay Lafayette, Bryan Station didn't play me, they played later. I had to play in Dayton, Ohio, against Dayton Roosevelt, Dayton Dunbar, Chattanooga Howard in Tennessee, Crispus Attucks in Indiana, and all the Dunbars. Now, Dunbar here is only Dunbar. All the Dunbars in West Virginia, and even as far as Alabama, although I never went to Alabama. The disparities were we at Dunbar never got new materials, academic materials. We always got hand-me-down materials from the other schools. But we were also told by the teachers that it didn't make a difference. It makes no difference, and I tell some of you in my class, it makes no difference what kind of math book you have. Because all of them the same math is older than all of us that they put together. So it makes no difference in the books. Most of the books aren't any good now, and a whole lot of pictures. The good math books don't have pictures in them, they have problems to work. So we were told that there was no reason for us not to be successful. There weren't any excuses. When we played basketball, Mr. Roach used to tell us, I think you've already talked about Mr. Roach, right? Yes. He used to tell us when we played, especially started playing the white schools, but I give the schools in the mountains in the eastern Kentucky credit because I played Corbin, Wheelwright, Pikeville, Belfry, and Bradford County before I played Henry Clay, Lafayette, and Bryan Station. I never played Henry Clay and Lafayette and Bryan Station unless it was in the district tournament or the regional tournament. We didn't have any scheduled games with them during the regular season. The only team to play us was Lexington Catholic to come to our gym and play. So the white teams that we played were all in the mountains. Bradford County was a special place because they're like the first people who said, come on up and play. We lost every game because they feed you till you drop. But there was a racial divide. Don't make no mistake about that. But we were told that we always had to be better than everybody else. Mr. Roach did not allow you to argue with the refs. You pick the ball up, you hand the ball to them, and you went on about your business. Because we weren't going to win the argument itself. You could not win the argument. So we played that. We played 20 points behind. Before the game started, the score was 20-0 your opponent. So you have to play that way. And it worked. Because I went to 2 state championship finals. I lost to Ashland in '61, I lost to Seneca and West Unseld in '63. So there were no excuses accepted for failure. As a matter of fact, some of my buddies, we still playing that last game that we lost to Seneca. I mean, we still think we're supposed to win this game. That's what I see missing right now is that we got a whole litany of excuses. You know, why you can't do this. I don't know why you can't do what everybody else is doing. I don't understand that.
What do you think students gain? What do you think students gain through the integration of public schools, and what did students lose in the integration of public schools?
First of all, we've got to get to the point where what is integration? I never accepted the fact that we were integrated. If I have 10 gallons of milk in here, and it's white milk, and you bring me 1 carton of black milk and I pour it in is it integration? See, they just took our schools. Look around the city. Cobb is a neighborhood center. Booker T on Georgetown Street is a neighborhood center. Black and Williams was an old orphanage for black kids, for African American kids up on Georgetown Street. It's a community center. Dunbar High School is a community center. Russell is an apartment building. So everything that we had to give up in order to go to this better place. But look at it this way. When I played basketball and football at Dunbar on Upper Street, we had a basketball team, A team, B team. You understand what I'm saying? When we went to Henry Clay, they only took the best people. So to answer the second part of your question, when we lost, this average person didn't get a shot. Only people they wanted were the top people, top people, top people. Just put this in your mind. Go to all the high schools today. Take all the African American kids off and bring them over on, and bring them to Dunbar on Upper Street. And that's what you're looking at. So I don't know what we gained. I'm not sure about that even today, but I know what we lost. See, we had our own cheerleaders. We had senior high, junior high, JV cheerleaders. Yet, even after the integration, we didn't have any African American cheerleaders. There had to be an argument about it. All the basketball players are African Americans, all the cheerleaders are white. What happened to our cheerleaders? All of a sudden they're not able to cheer, but they won awards when they were at Dunbar for cheering. Academically, it's the same stuff. You went over, and I don't know if you actually blame them or not, because they already had their stuff established, and you were trying to break into that establishment. So, are there some things gained? Yes. To try to pinpoint them, I really don't know what they are. But I do know what we lost. Because I had to go to a historical black college. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to get some of my stuff that I can hang on that wall. I went to Langston University in Langston, Oklahoma, because no school, Kentucky, didn't offer me a scholarship. I'm trying to get a boy to George Wilson that y'all saw in the film. He was second in this state as a run-up as the state's best player to Wes Unseld, who's in the Pro Hall of Fame. Yet they didn't let him play in the Kentucky Indiana All-Star game, say he's too mean looking. But George had a mustache when he was 5 years old. That's the way he can help that. And he just got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And he's 70 years old. It took 70 years to get here. And yet at one time he was the number 2 player in the state of Kentucky for 2 solid years. And the only player ahead of him was Wes Unseld. I don't know if you're familiar with Wes Unseld, but when they had the integration in Louisville, he and a dude named Mike Redd had to go to Seneca. But go to Louisville, pick all of Louisville's teams, take the African Americans off, put them over to Central over on Chestnut Street. Central won football championships here a couple of years back, some back to back. But we don't have our people in the school anymore. And the biggest thing about the integration is busing. See, I walk to school every day. From Pine and Patterson in South End. Didn't think anything about it. I didn't have a snow day. We had gear for everything. I walked to school. Now you got kids being bused at 4, 5, 6, 7 miles. At one time, do any of you all remember the housing projects? Aspendale, Charlotte Court? Okay. They got single family housing there now. It used to be barracks, and you'd have 121A, 121B, 121C, 121B, E, and F. Well, at one time, this stuff was so crazy that you could live in this barrack and go to Henry Clay, and a dude live next door to you, go to Bryan Station. And a dude live next door to him, goes to Tate Street. And the dude live next door to him, go to Lafayette. You got kids living in the same apartment building, going to different schools. So that community thing was gone. See, I think that's a big problem that we have now. My mother and granny, I stayed with my granny all my life, but my granny, my mother, and everyone who lived in my community went to church with my teachers. Went to the same grocery store with my teachers. So we didn't have all this call your mom and everything. They see my granny, hey, Richard, and that was the end of that. See, you can't tell this woman anything. She's crazy. I don't want to deal with her. So the problem now is that we've lost this connection that we used to have. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 black funeral homes. I think it's about 2 now. There were black business cleaners down on Broadway, right there where Rough Arena goes up in the hills. There used to be Morton's cleaners, many hoods, beauty shop, all kind of stuff. We got rid of all that. We've lost all of that. And we haven't picked it up. And St. Martin Village and Oakwood too, they were the new housing. They were supposed to bring everybody, out of poverty and everything. But you can't give people a house until you teach them how to take care of a house. See, that's the biggest problem. When you ask homeowners, ask anybody, you got stuff you have to do every day to keep your house. And when you don't understand that, you don't do it. And you can look at Green Acres right now. If you live in Green Acres, I'm not coming down on you, but Green Acres, when my mother first moved there, is nowhere close to what it was then. I mean, I'm out there, cars parked in the yard, old rusty cars and everything. See, that's not the community. And most communities would raise sand about the man with this car been sitting in the yard for the last 10 years. Windburn, they talk about Windburn, nobody wants to go there because they think they're going to get mugged, robbed, or whatever. And see, all that stuff was built as single-family housing to help the African American to move up. But the problem, we've got to teach folks how to handle stuff that you get. And that's what we're not doing. And that's the reason we want to do this stuff. Because you're not connected to me. See, I was connected. My uncle played football at Dunbar. Everybody I knew in South End played basketball and football at Dunbar. So when I was going to Carver, there wasn't any problem about where I was going to school. I was going to Dunbar. That was it. So I started playing sports in the 7th grade all the way through the 12th, football and basketball. But the curfew maintainers in my neighborhood were the people who used to go to Dunbar. I used to hear it all the time. We're playing Central tomorrow. You number 1, they number 2. You need to go home. Do we have to take you home? And they put you in that car and take you home. We don't have a community. That's not in the community anymore. If on my block, my little places now, they done wrecked my place up. It's on Broadway, go down Main Street till you get to Patterson, go up Patterson Street, go down till you get to Marino, the road that we call Buttermilk Bottom, Davis Bottom, all that's gone. They building the road connection through there now. Well, in that whole area, anybody in there could correct me. Anyone, any adult, see me doing anything wrong can snatch me up. You can't do that. I wouldn't advise any parent to correct someone else's child today. And that's the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. That's the absolute truth. Granny and them are important to you. You got a grandmother and grandfather, go talk to them. They know stuff that you can't get out of the history book because they are the history. They were there. See, you're going to get a different perspective. But just go talk to them. That's the connection we got. That's why we're so big on family reunions. Everybody wants to have them. Everybody wants to come. So that's just to make it simple. What are the advantages? Sure. The disadvantages, to me, outweigh the advantage. Because we lost so much and we haven't been able to regain it yet.
How committed were you to your education?
The truth, enough to play ball. That's the way it started. All I wanted to do was play ball. When they kicked the football, I wanted to be there. When they play shot the basketball, I wanted to be there. But in order to do that, you got to carry a piece of paper and have everybody in the Dunbar school sign it. The janitors, everybody sign it. If you got one person that said they saw you doing something that was not right, you didn't play. It's the end of it. Man, nothing else. You weren't gonna play. So we came to school. I think the first day I missed in school, and the only day I missed from kindergarten to 12th grade is my senior skip day when I was a senior. I don't know why we skipped, because we just went up and sat up in Douglas Park, talked. We could have stayed in school. You know, that's the only day I missed in school, because if you didn't come, you didn't play. You didn't perform in class, you didn't play. Period. And I didn't turn into a serious student until my freshman year in college. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would see a couple of B's, especially in the math, and I didn't know why I was good in math till later on I discovered my grandmother went to Knoxville College when she was 14 years old. But that's not don't get too put up by that, because the high school only went to the 9th grade. And see, they used to have a thing called a day law. Anybody familiar with that?
No, sir.
You know, white kids went in the daytime, you went after they left. So you 9th grade was the highest grade you could get to before you went to college. And Knoxville College at that particular time was a historical HBCU. And it's now not in session. It's gone. Like most of it gone because they're getting weeded out. Look at Kentucky State. If you take most people my age in this state that graduated from a college, here in Kentucky, it was Kentucky State. But yet we down here fighting like a dog now trying to keep Kentucky State open. If everybody who went to Kentucky State was sent $100 every year, we probably could keep it open. But people were doing something that, I don't know what they call it. They used to go to Kentucky State until they get all the way up to getting their degree, and then they transfer and go to UK. Or transfer and go to Louisville. Because when you got your diploma, it wouldn't say Kentucky State, it would say what? Louisville. Or University of Kentucky, because you spent that last year at the University of Kentucky, or Louisville, or Eastern, or Moorhead. Now, I've been to all the colleges because they used to pay you. Pay you to go to school. Especially when we started with the new math, which was a trick to start with. It wasn't no new math, all math is the same. So they paid you mileage to go to college. I went to Moorhead, Georgetown, Eastern. I went everywhere they paid. I was right there. It didn't make any difference. Because math to me is a set of rules and you follow them. Case closed. That's all you have to do. You learn the vocabulary. I think it's the same thing when you're trying to teach any other discipline. You learn the vocabulary, you learn the rules, and then you apply them. Case closed. That's the end of it. But all the math they're talking about that you're not doing, calculus 1, 4, 5, well, you know, if you're not doing it, when you going to use it? I'm a math teacher. I don't remember using calculus 2, 3, 4, 5 the whole time I've been teaching. I use calculus 1 because I tutored some kids. But I can't tutor you in math if you don't already know your algebra. In calculus, rather, because it's a waste of time.
How many high school friends have stuck with you since you graduated?
Well, this is the same class, right?
Right.
The young man that was with me the other day, we went to kindergarten together and first year of college. And George Wilson, the basketball player, I keep mentioning, we met in 8th grade. And Jimmy kind of is supposed to be coming. We started in college school in the kindergarten, and we see each other every day. As a matter of fact, Mr. Berry, I call him Mookie, we eat lunch. I don't know when we miss lunch or one of us out of town. We eat lunch every day. We all meet at Old Dunbar School every Saturday. He's been over there. We have our little basketball league. And then we run the whole basketball league, sell hot dogs. We take the money and run the league. And
Do we do that because everybody just wants to be in Dunbar? We kind of know that as soon as the recreation department moves out, that it's probably over because the building is in not repaired. It needs repairing, but some of the stuff when Dunbar was built, like our asbestos, has got to be removed if you buy that building, and that's no telling how much money that's going to be. So we think it's kind of short-lived. It's got a short life, but we just want to keep it alive as long as we can. We're trying to get all our trophies back because I think our trophies are somewhere out to the new Dunbar, and there must be 500-600 of them. We had 2 hallways full of trophies, and trophies in the lobby of the gym on both sides, on both walls. But we got about 40 of them over at the case now, so we're trying to get the rest. That's why I wanted Junior there, because he's over there negotiating that. He might have forgotten. I'll forgive him because Junior's 81 years old. I talked to him on the phone. He graduated in 49. And Mr. Taylor, whom your teacher knows, Mr. Ferris knows, he's a pharmacist. And he promised me he's going to be here tomorrow because he likes doing it. That's why I'm surprised Junior's not here, because he loves doing this. And he's going to tell you stuff I can't tell you. You know, because he's the person that was watching us and basically not telling us what to do, but asking you questions like, what are you doing? You know, when you going to finish? What's taking so long? And you don't actually have that anymore. You don't have anybody to go to and they're going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. Period. Racism is here. And I got some news for you. It's not going anywhere. It's just not going anywhere. The country, whole fabric put together like old quilt them old women used to make. Put all that stuff in there. Racism is woven right in there. But you will not go tell anybody I told you that you failed because of racism. You lying on me. Don't lie on me. I'm telling you what's the lay of the land. You got to get in gear and go get it done. I've had racist professors at the university. I had one professor tell me, I didn't think your people could learn this mathematics at this level. Well, I didn't either. So what's the assignment? And he gave me this little book and said, well, we worked all the problems in the first, excuse me, 2 chapters. Why don't you just do that? So I just took the book and worked all the problems in the whole book. And took them back and gave them to him. Every day I'd ask them, can I get my papers back? Have you checked them yet? See, I've got this thing. If you tell me I can't do it, then we need to try to cut it down and get it done. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot do. If you think you can't, or if you think you can, you're absolutely right. There's no such thing. You are humans, which means that you are automatically intelligent. That's what you have to get straight. You already have the intelligence. You already got the tools. You just need to get smart. That's all you need to do. Being smart is taking your intelligence and figuring out this problem. Like the Detroit school system is on right now. Oh, it's a mess up there. Kids ain't been to school for 2 days. Teachers call in strike. School system owed the state $2 billion. What's going to happen to these children? What's going to happen to seniors if they don't go back to school? They say they're going to run out of money by July 1st. So how are we going to keep the school system alive? The water is bad. They're going to turn the water off today for about 40,000 people. I think it's some thousand people because they didn't pay their water bill. One lady got on the television and said her water bill was $1,800. I thought Detroit was close to some water. So we got all this stuff around you, and it's not going anywhere. But I'm telling you right now, don't you use that as an excuse. Don't you come and tell me when I see you 10 years from now, I didn't make it because so-and-so didn't like me. I don't know you. Ku Klux and Klan, them brothers ain't gonna like you, know. So what difference does it make? They're not gonna like you. Why are you looking for everybody to like you? Why don't you like yourself? We need to get back to that. Where you have a self-positive image. I used to try to tell parents, I stopped doing it because it made them mad.
You tell me you mess with my child's, self-confidence, no, it can't be. If you confidence, if you have self-confidence, that means you can't be messed with. If you got self-pride, that means nobody has to give it to you, you already have it. But you only get respect and pride through work. I know y'all think that's crazy, but it is. You get respect when you give it. And you learn to do stuff when you're working. And I'll tell you right now, the stuff that you learn to do, you still know how to do it. I put you on a bicycle, it's $30, ride up there and get everybody some drinks. You be out on that bicycle up there and back before we could even get through. Because you learn to ride the bicycle after you run into a tree. And after you hit the front brakes, one flying. You see, that wasn't no problem for me. We didn't have one brake and tires this big around. A Huffy. That's what they call it, a Huffy bicycle. See, so you got them little skinny tires, you run, you got all kind of brakes and gears, and when you first doing it, you hit a few trees, jumped off a curb too hard, fell, and then look around to see if anybody was looking. If wasn't nobody looking, you jump back on it. And if somebody's looking, you lay down there like you half dead, like I need some help. So we've all been through that. So stuff you learn, you don't forget. Stop remembering stuff for the test and learn it. Then you don't have no test.
Who motivated you? Who motivated you?
That is hard. Well, I have to start with the person I always start with. That's my grandmother. But I don't know how she did it. I don't even remember not being able to read. I find that the most egregious thing that we can have with our kids. Because used to have to read the Bible verses. Moses wept, John, my grandma said, Richard, that's not what that says. So I want to go down to the big lot where everybody's playing basketball, shooting marbles, having fun. I'm there reading this Bible. So I'm going to learn how to read this Bible so I can get up out of here. See, so I have to start with her. And then there's a man that I think y'all saw on the film, on the DVD, is Norman L. Passmore. He was my football coach. He used to stay on me by taking the top classes. And when I was going to high school, you had a college curriculum and all that, which I think is crazy. See, I think in the 12th grade, y'all be doing 12th grade work. I don't know if you're going to college or not. But I'm going to make sure you know 12th grade stuff, so if you want to go to college, you can know. I got a problem with saying this is basic math. What the world is basic math? This is business math. What's business math? Math is math. Learn how to do it. You can apply it to anything you want. I get my athletes all the time. Well, how long is the football field? How wide is it? How far are the hash marks from the sideline? How long is the basketball court? How tall is the goal? What angle can you stand at almost blindfolded and bank that ball in the basket? It's more to it than ripping and running. Having natural jumping ability and all of that, Kawhi Leonard and all that, it works. But the basic stuff, and Tim Duncan, his team might win another championship with them old men. Pass the ball, boom. They slow as crystals, look like molasses in the wintertime. And they beat everybody. They beat everybody. Until that little magician come to town. They don't want to give Curry no credit, but he's turned this whole thing over. So, basic stuff, the basic stuff you have in all your classes, not just one. See, that's what we were expected to do. You have to pass shop. My grandma had a little coffee table I made. I'm so proud of that thing because Mr. Stevenson worked us to death trying to make it. You got to be real smooth. He run his hand across that's too rough. And he put the sandpaper on block, piece of wood and sand it. You ain't got them sanders. But your stuff had to be right, else you couldn't get up out of here. And nobody was actually letting you fail. They didn't take to fail it. So when I got to college, I got there like about 4 weeks before anybody else got there for practice, football practice. And I got my books because I was on full scholarship. I only paid $2 to go to college for 4 years. So I was on football scholarship. So they gave me the books. When I'm by myself, my buddy that was here yesterday, he hadn't shown up yet, because I had to go earlier than he did. So I just decided I was gonna work all the stuff in the books. So when college started, you know, they asked for stuff, I already had it. So I was a 4.0 student in the first semester, and the word travels, a little smart dude in here from Kentucky. Oh man, I rode that for 3 semesters. Then I got to be for 3 years, got to be a senior, and I got stupid. I started following other people. Man, you go to class every day. I thought that's what you're supposed to do. In high school, I went to class every day. This man, you got 20 hours. You don't need to take no 20 hours, brother. You know, take 12. Go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. And then my grade point average dropped. No, I'm through with y'all. I'm going back to what I was doing. I went to school every morning at 8, got out at 12:30, football practice went until 5:30, 6 o'clock. I was in heaven. So I graduated. No summer school, no extra class, no Fs. I think I got 1 D in Spanish because I was there trying to con the man out of a grade. You know, so it didn't work. He understood more English than I thought. So that didn't work. So you know, you're not doing anything that we haven't already done. All I'm trying to tell you is that we've all been down this path, right? So I'm telling you, don't go this way. You know, that's all I'm saying. Don't go. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because everybody's gone and didn't come back. So don't do it. So listen to some of the people. And boys, I tell them all the time, some of you people have been in my class, I'm a mama's boy. See, my grandmother raised me. If you don't have respect for your mother, I have real problem. Because you can't pay for the gift she gave you. They call it life. There ain't no price on this. How much you gonna pay for your life? My granny was always right. I don't care what she said, she was always right. Then I go over to the stockyard and talk to this pig. You know, that woman's out of her man. Pig, you know, well, she's crazy. I ain't saying that no more. But I'll be in the stockyard. Me and this pig will be in this pen together talking. Because as soon as I come out of that pen, I'm like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I'm going to get it right now. You know, then I go back and talk to the cow. The woman's off. You know, I can't do what everybody else is doing. That's the one thing I love. I couldn't, I'm not their granny. I'm your granny. Here's what you do. And I was bad. I was bad as you could get. We've done everything we could. And like everybody else, I tell parents, I don't tell what your child won't do. I know what he'll do. I used to be there trying to get away with everything I could. And so just don't get crazy. That's my whole point about this stuff.
So, what was your greatest individual accomplishment at Dunbar?
My best grades were in, we took geometry in sections, plain geometry and solid geometry. So my best grades always have been math. My next best grades was language arts because I like writing. I like writing. I don't like to publish writing. You know, I like reading. I love reading. You know, there's some books you can read right now that you would help you thinking about everything you do. There's some writers out there. I'll bring my books and you can put them, because they're doing their Naeem Akbar. I don't even know if you've ever heard of them, called Breaking the Chains of Psychological Slavery. That is right here. The slavery, the best slavery, there's a book entitled Woody Lynch Letter.